Hi, this is Brittany, and you're watching Locked Queen Bee. Hi guys, this is Brittany, Locked Queen Bee, and guess what? I have a new video for you. So in this video, I kind of just want to talk about hair and everything that's going on with the situation, as you all know. So I really just hope you guys are, staying safe and taking care of yourself, and just enjoy this time with your family. And if you do go out, please make sure you're just taking the necessary steps to not only protect yourself, but everyone else around you. So let's get into the video. So as you guys all know, I have a new set of locks. I cut my last set that was about shoulder length, and actually on New Year's night, Eve night, whatever, I cut my hair. Then I really just needed a fresh start, and that fresh start came in the form of starting a new set. So on March 28th, I actually had a set prior to this one. The locks were about 1/4 of an inch parting, and I had a lot more locks. I didn't get a chance to count them, but I believe that I had over at least 500 locks, which at the time that I had started that set, I did want more locks. Compared to my original set that I started 2 years ago, I actually noticed that on the back right side of my head and the back left side of my head, my locks were 2 different sizes. So what I mean by that is, 2 years ago when I initially started my lock, I had started my locks out very small, and I was like, you know what, this is kind of like too small, I should go a little bigger. So I went a little bigger, and then something happened where I got to the left side to where the bigger sizes on the right, what was on the left side was even bigger than that. And so I just really didn't like how uneven the parting and the sizing was. So that was something that I had wanted to change for a while. Something else that I wanted to change was my hairline. I didn't like how my hairline, both sides didn't kind of match. On this side, the right side, I always had a big afro within 2 weeks after I retire, after washing my hair. This left side always looked neat and like I had just gotten it done. So that was something that bothered me. So obviously, when I got my new set, that was something that I wanted to pay attention to. So sizing and parting, making sure the locks and the sizing are more uniform, and then also addressing my hairline issues. The other thing that I had been planning to do was, for this new set, I really wanted to have my hair established by a Sisterlocks Consultant. I obviously knew the price wasn't going to be cheap, so I had actually had a installation set for March 23rd. That was literally 2 days after the stay-at-home ban kind of went into effect. So my appointment got canceled, and that kind of left me scrambling of what I wanted to do with my hair, which is fine. That was kind of a sign like, hey, you did your last set, you can do this set on your own. And I obviously never had hair this short that I braided before, so I wasn't sure that I could do it. And obviously, as you saw from my pictures, I was able to do it, and I was able to get the size that I wanted for the most part. So let's talk about this set a little bit. So this set has about 370 locks. I actually counted this one. The set prior to this, nobody went to count it, and I made the mistake of washing it before I counted it. So what that means is, when you first put your braids in, they're sticking up really straight, and it's kind of easy to grasp and all that. Once I washed it, my hair curled up, and so that just made it harder to especially with it being this short, it just made it harder for me to really go in and count. So no one wanted to count my hair, and I was really feeling like, okay, is this too many locks? Is this too much hair for me to work with? And once I realized that I was gonna have to do my own retie for the first retightening after the installation, I was like, okay, I don't really want to retighten this my lock. So I took them out and I did them a little bigger. So this set has partings of 3/8 of an inch. So it's a little bit bigger than 1/4 of an inch. And let's get into how I did the parting. So what I did was I took a measuring tape, so the yellow measuring tape, and I basically measured 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch, and then 3/8 of an inch. So this is not the 3/8 of an inch, but what you can see here is that I have a comb. And basically what I did was I put the measuring tape right it up against the comb, and I kind of counted like, okay, this 1/4 of an inch is, for example, 3 of these teeth. So what I did was I cut off that and kind of created a marker for myself so that I would know how big my part needed to be. This was how I did my last set as well, my first original set. So this is something that I would highly recommend doing. It helps you keep the parts uniform, and then you don't really have to worry too much about holding up a piece of paper to make sure that everything is right. So this is something that I did. So I actually have 3 of these. So they're all very similar in size, but this was the smallest. So this is probably about 1/4 of an inch. This is 3/8 of an inch. And then actually this is 1/2 inch. And then this is closer to 3/8 of an inch. So that is how I did my parting. So what you can do is you can just get a fresh comb. So I went to Walgreens and bought like a set of combs for like $2.99. There's 15 different combs in there. So you can get a cheap comb, go and measure, and then clip off the teeth so that you know how big of a section you're working with. So now the next thing I want to talk about is I'm seeing a lot of people who are now thinking about combining their locks. And for me, this was something that I was obviously thinking about anyway prior to everything happening with the situation. So my ultimate goal is to be able to do my whole head in less than 4 or 5 hours without any help. And the only way to really do that is to have less locks. So I'm really not surprised that, you know, with the situation, Sisterlocks Consultants aren't able to work like they were prior to everyone being told to stay at home and this just dealing with this health crisis first. So that is obviously forcing a lot of people who were dependent on somebody else to do their hair to now figure out how to do their own hair. And for me, I, you know, for the first 8 months of my first microlock set, which I started in December 2017, that set I maintained on my own for like the first 6 or 7 months. So I do have some experience with doing my own hair. I know that I do have to devote a whole weekend, so Saturday, Sunday, and maybe a Monday to just do my whole head. So I know like the work that goes into it, but there's a lot of people who have never done their hair for the first time and they're like freaking out about how to do this. And then you see some people who are talking about, okay, do I need to combine my locks? Should I learn how to do my locks on YouTube and all of that? And I think that's really great that people are, despite how the situation has come about, I think it's really good to have that conversation around like, hey, how do I manage my hair? And if I need to manage my own hair, do I want to combine my locks? Because I really think that everyone should have the freedom to be able to do their own hair. And I read somewhere that there is someone who made a comparison about Sisterlocks being sort of like a relaxer, where obviously with a relaxer you go every 4 to 6 weeks to get your roots relaxed and straightened chemically. And Sisterlocks is kind of the same thing. You're dependent on going to somewhere else to do your hair and keep it in a certain condition. With relaxers, yeah, some people can do their own relaxers. They can have a friend do it for cheaper, whatever, but you really have to know what you're doing because you're literally putting a chemical on your hair and it's very easy to mess up. With Sisterlocks, it's the same thing. If you do the wrong rotation, if you go in the wrong direction too many times, you can really mess up your locks. So that is something that I'm not really a whole big fan of. I really like the do-it-yourself route, where the idea of if you do something with your hair, you can maintain it yourself in the long run. So my point with this is that I really had been thinking about combining my locks, and I think that I will be happier with this set. And one, because there's less locks, it's about 370 locks, and with my first set I had about 420, so it's only really about like a 50 count difference in my first set and this set here. But what that really means to me is that I think that I've evened out the siding a little bit. So I do have a few of my old locks here, and we're just gonna look at them. So let's see. So something that, this is kind of related but unrelated, something that I really didn't like about having a Sisterlocks consultation is that you couldn't really see like physically what the sizes were. So like, you know how you go to a braid shop and they have like a little thing on the wall that shows you like the different size braids and the price. With Sisterlocks, there's nothing like that, and that kind of bothered me. So I'm really glad that I have my old locks to kind of like look at and kind of examine and really see like what size is the best for me. So this is, I have 4 here. So this, I'm just gonna put my hair on my shoulder, y'all. So this one is actually one of the smaller locks of the bunch of locks that I have. So you can see here that this is the Sisterlocks part, and then this is the part that I braided towards the bottom. So you can see that here is more of a curl to it. So this is what I braided, and then between here and here, this is more Sisterlocks. So this is the smallest size. This actually doesn't seem like it's gonna break or anything like that. So I was surprised by that. By cutting off my hair, I was able to see my hair in closer detail than I was when it was on my head. So this actually doesn't seem like it's gonna break off or anything like that. So this is actually a pretty good size lock. These other ones that I have, so this is probably the second smallest. This is the second smallest. So you can see it's a little bit thicker, and then you can see it gets bigger towards the end. So that's kind of where I braided it. And then this right here is more Sisterlocks. So this again isn't a bad size. It's still small, but it feels like very sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's gonna pop or break or anything like that. And then these two are kind of like the thicker ones. I wouldn't mind having this size at all. And this is kind of a size that I would ideally go for in this set. So most of my locks will probably be around this size, if not a little bit bigger. And then I'll obviously have some that are smaller, which would be around the hairline area. So this is actually really cool. You can see like how thick it is, and this is, I guess, I don't know if this would be considered a large Sisterlock or a micro lock, but I really like the way that this size is, and it seems like having more of these in my head would be easier to maintain. So the reason why I have bought my old locks for this video is I actually just got a new nappy lock tool. And so originally when I first ordered my very first small nappy lock tool, they only had I believe a small, actually I don't even know the size. I think they have a large, a medium, a small, and then like a micro. So I have the small and the micro here. So this is the small and this is the micro. Turn it better so you can see. So this one closer to the left is the small, and then this one is the micro. So the new tool I got is a micro mini. So the one on the right is the new tool. You can see that the hole where that lock actually goes is much smaller, but the stems are still about the same length. So I'm really excited for this new tool, and the reason why I got a new tool is because my hair is shorter and I've never had to maintain hair that is this short before. And so the problem that I'm running into is that the hair slips out of the tool. So I had previously played around with the idea of using a bobby pin, and I think I'm going to be doing a combination of using a bobby pin to retighten my hair when that time comes, and maybe this tool. So what I have my old locks for is I want to show you the size locks that fit through the tool. So just bear with me for 1 second. So let's start with the small one first. I'm just going to slide it through. So you can kind of see that this tool is a little bit too big for even the biggest lock of the one that I showed to you. So I can just put it up here and, you know, it kind of holds in place. So this is actually a good, see here, I don't know if you could hear it or see it, but once I slid it up, it kind of popped into place. So I feel like it's gonna stay there. So this small tool is actually a good size for this lock. So that should tell you something, because I had some locks so much thinner than this. So let's look at the micro. So this is the micro. And you can see here that it's kind of harder to squeeze through, which is not a bad thing at all. And then I can just pop it into the top. It's more of a stretch to get it into this area, but it doesn't move. And this is more of what you should be able to use, how you should be able to use the tool. You should be able to lock your hair in place so that it doesn't slip out. So let's try the micro mini. So this is probably going to be a stretch. Let's see if I can bend it. So this is actually going to be a stretch for larger locks probably. I don't like the idea of like having to do a lot of grabbing because I feel like that damages the lock a little bit. So I'm not a fan of what I just had to do there to get this one in. But this could work as well. And you don't even need to put it into that little section. This is not gonna slip out as easily as it would with the small. So now I'm gonna look at my smallest lock. So this is the smallest lock that I have for you all. So let's look at the small Nappy lock tool. So you can see that like this is just going to slide right on out. There's no like, it just slides right through. So let's look at the small Nappy lock tool. And it's pretty much the same thing. There's a little bit more, it passes through easily, but as I'm pulling, I can feel my hair kind of getting stuck a little bit. So this isn't as bad. So let's try the micro mini. So this one I actually didn't have to bend at all to get in like I did with the other size lock. So this one, the same thing, is kind of catching a little bit on the tool. But for the most part, this is a much better size to work with. I don't have to worry about it slipping out as much. So those are the Nappy lock tools that I use to retighten my hair. I currently have 3 different sizes. So on the very right, what I have is a micro mini, which is the newest size tool available. In the middle, we have the small. And then to the left, we have the original micro size Nappy lock tool. So now my hair looks a little crazy and I'm not really used to wearing it like this. I mean, I'm used to having my hair this short now because I spent almost 5 months since I cut it this short. And what I was doing previously, I was using a lot of hair product just to kind of create waves and curls in my hair. So I really like this routine that I have going now. So I really sleep with a stocking cap on my hair, and I really do that just so that it flattens my hair. And when I wake up in the morning, sometimes 90% of the time I don't like the way it lays, so I just end up doing all of this to my hair to kind of get everything to stick up a little bit more, and then I just go about my day. So when I first big chopped, what was it, like 7 years ago in 2012 or 2013, I was wearing a lot of headbands. So this is a headband that I used to wear a long time ago. This is actually not my headband, this is my twin sister's. So we usually buy the same stuff. For some reason I threw out all of my old headbands, so I didn't have this one anymore. And then I went through her stuff and she still had it. So let's try this on and see how it looks. I've ordered a bunch of these on Amazon because I really feel like I'm gonna be in the stage where I'm wearing headbands a lot, especially once it's time to start going back out to the office and stuff like that. I would probably feel more comfortable having a headband in my hair. So this is something that I wouldn't mind going out in. I obviously wore this style a couple years ago, and I didn't mind it, so I don't have a problem going back to headband. And I really like how easier it is to, you know, care for my hair this short with it being locked, and it's just easier to take care of. So let me know what you guys think about this headband. Let me know what you think about this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Have a good one, guys, and stay healthy and stay safe. Bye.